So what made me want to get into the education field? First off, I knew I was good at it. I was a camp counselor for 2 summers. I helped teach kids, a lot having to do with outdoor skills. It was a scout camp, so a lot in that field. And then I knew I was also good at literature and writing. I helped a lot of my friends in school. Um, I have a lot of fond memories of teaching friends The Scarlet Letter or helping them with it because it's a pretty dense novel. But the other factor too that got me into education was I have a lot of great mentors. I had a lot of great teachers. And I saw that having a good teacher could have an immense impact on someone's life. And I think at the end of the day, being able to teach students is one thing, but having them make memories and having an impact on their lives and changing them in that aspect is, there's no better feeling in education. There really isn't. So the biggest factor that's impacted my success in education is without a doubt my colleagues. Even when I was working in rural Alaska, inner city Cleveland, and now even at Austintown Local Schools, being surrounded by professional colleagues who are so knowledgeable, so skilled, and so willing to help other people be successful in education is just, there's no other resource that comes close to how successful that makes you. I've always said at Austintown Fitch High School, we have the best English department ever. A lot of them were my former teachers that had that impact on me to become a teacher. And I still do. And they, without a doubt, day to day, quarter to quarter, help me out in ways that they probably don't even know that they help me out with. And I hope I do the same for them, because it is, when you're teaching, it can feel very lonely at times. So having that extra support and having that someone check up on you, making sure that you're doing okay and being there for you is indispensable. It truly is. So the biggest mistake I probably did in my profession, and I still commit this mistake, is I try to be super teacher. Super teacher is the idea that I'm going to plan out this entire month or quarter or year, and everything's going to go according to plan, and my students are going to show growth, and they're going to do all these amazing things, and everything's going to go 100% right. Yeah, none of that ever happens in education. My first year of teaching, I went in with that. I had that ideal image of this was the kind of teacher I was going to be. These are what my students are going to be able to do. With that mentality, I made it until October. I was on the phone with the assistant superintendents asking what would happen to me if I left my assignment, because I was so disappointed in myself, because I was not reaching this ideal image of what I thought a teacher was going to be. And kind of going back to my colleagues being a support, I remember the math and science teacher pulling me aside and going, you can't do this every day. You can't, you can maybe do it a couple times a week, but even then you're pushing it. Like, you can't be super teacher every single day, no matter how much you want to and how much you think it's going to do good, because you're just going to tear yourself down. And that was something that really made me realize I'm human. I make mistakes. You can't go around and try to fix the entire world, all at one sitting. You got to do it one student at a time and one class at a time. And even then, there's going to be some lessons that you're just not going to be super teacher. And that's okay. And that was something that I had to learn to tell myself, was it's okay to not be this super awesome, totally interactive lessons. And so sometimes you just got to take a seat back and honestly let students do some of the teaching. Let them teach you something. And like I said, that's still something that I still do to this day. A lot of my colleagues tell me that. So, but I certainly don't make that mistake as much as I used to. I certainly catch myself before we get into those places. So. Yeah, that'd be my biggest mistake. So the person that I would want to meet, past or present, is without a doubt, it's always going to be Robin Williams, which, you might see the connection there because I'm an English teacher, and Robin Williams was in one of probably the most cliche English teacher movie of all times, Dead Poets Society. Um, Not the reason why I'd want to meet him though. Growing up in the '90s, Robin Williams was in pretty much any sort of like good kids movie that you can think of. Jumanji, Mrs. Doubtfire. He was just in a bunch of them, and he always played himself. I mean, that was always the thing with Robin Williams. Unless he was doing a drama, he was always himself. And I just really liked his energy, the fact that he was enthusiastic all the time. He was funny, he was kooky. He wasn't afraid to make a fool of himself just to make people laugh. And I thought, what a great gift to be able to give people, and to do that like for your job. That was always something that I thought was amazing. And that's actually what more pushed me to be an English teacher, because if you were to see me teach a lot of the different things I do in class, you would see, oh, that's a Robin Williams element. That's something that he does. I do voices, I make noise sound effects in class. Because let's be honest here, school's boring. It certainly can be, and I don't need to contribute to that boringness. So being able to be enthusiastic, to have energy, crack jokes with my students, and just have a good morning, have a good time, that I think is a lot more valuable than anything I'm going to teach students in the long run. So if I were to meet him, what would we do? I don't know. We'd probably, talk a little bit about comedy, what makes people laugh. I don't know. We might trade voices. I always imagine doing something like that. But yeah, I would let him know the world misses him. So.